That's what I do, I turn on Discord. Hello everybody, how are you? So, what I'm going to be doing today is having a wee looky-see at some blueprint stuff. I'm just going to turn on my side light. It's so dark in here. There we are. Yes, you can see I'm wearing my lounge pants, by the way. My pirate hat's over there, so I'm not going to bother with it. I'll just leave it where it is. Okay, now, what I have here is I have my Unreal Engine. I'll just put a quick note up that I'm just doing a... I'll just mention it here. Right, so I've just typed up what I'm doing. Hello viewer, how are you? So anyone who pops on, okay, you're all welcome to pop on and say hello. I'll try and answer any questions if I can. So let's go. Bam. Okay, so I am here on my live feed of what I'm doing right now. Today is November the 14th. Now, I have here my select or create new project. I'm using Unreal Engine 4.25, yep, 4.25, and I'm going to basically make a project up. Okay, I'm going to build my simple character interactivity and functionality into that, and then we're going to go from there and do a little bit of experimenting. Now, I'll sit and chat while we're doing it, so if you want to say hello, by all means, please do. The chat box is fairly small. It's just down here in the corner, that side, the other side, you see. So just if you need it. I didn't want to make it too big because it gets very intrusive. Okay, you're seeing my face just so that you can see me go ooh, and all this kind of thing. Okay, seeing someone's face apparently is very good when they're teaching. Go figure. Right, just check my glasses are clean. And yes, I do pronounce it glasses, not glasses. Hey, I've gone and put me glasses on me face, now I cannot see me beat. Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with a games category. Anyone I've taught directly will know that's how I always start. And I'm going to click next. You got any questions, by the way, about what I'm doing? Then just please go ahead. I can see someone's just said hello, actually, so... I wish my chat system was more efficient, you know, I really, really do. There must be a way of getting my chat window to appear a bit better than this. Who is it? Oh, it's Dale. Hello, Dale. How are you? I hope you're well. Right, sorry about this. I'll just... What I'm going to do is I'm going to move my stream to this side before I even start. And I'm going to move my Discord up to monitor 2. So Discord is now using monitors 1 and monitor 3. It's not Discord. My... streaming system. There we go. Right, I'll just put this up here. There, everything's nice and tidy. And I'm watching Alone in my ghost town on the other window, just in case you were wondering. Glad to hear it, Dale. Glad to hear it. I have to kind of reach over here to read the chat window, because if you're not saying anything inside directly of Twitch, I think, I can't see. Let me check multi-stream. Okay, multi-stream says read. Well, that's not very useful, is it? Anyway, I'm going to get on with this. So I'm using a game template because they're very, very light. And I'm going to go into my first-person shooter. Okay, so first-person template here and click next. Now, I want to use a blueprint project, max quality, no ray tracing, desktop with starter content. The reason I select all that is because if I've got starter content, you're in the same place I am. It makes it a lot easier for you. Okay, so what am I going to do now? I am going to give this project a name. So I'm going to call this Blueprint Workshop, because that's what it is. It's basically a place where I can work on some blueprints. And I'm going to click Create. Okay, we shall get there. Okay, so it's at 91%. Now, I don't expect you to stay for the duration. If you want to, you're very welcome to. There's new rules on Twitch regarding background music, so I don't think I can have, you know, background music blaring away at the moment unless it's free stuff, and the free stuff is, frankly, horrible, so I'm not going to. Right. So here I am in my first person project template. It's just discovering my assets, tee-hee-hee. And this is a good place to start, simply because there's a lot of functional objects in this, like physics objects, there's a lot of geometry, there's some lighting, you know, everything we need. So I'll just delete the words first person template, and I'm not going to explain why I'm doing stuff so much. I do that in live classes. You know, I'm not going to explain the reasons behind why I make these changes. I'm just going to get on with them. And what I want to do is I want to change the functionality of our first person character here. So I'm going to go to view options, change my scale. And the reason I'm doing this is because even though I've done this a few times during teaching, I actually wanted to make myself a base template that has this functionality in it. Okay, so got this first person character here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just click here to show my sources panel, go into my blueprints, and there's my first person character there. So I want to go down to content now, right click, new folder, and make a folder called assets. Okay, so now if I go back to my first person BP blueprints, I'm going to drag first person character to assets and move it there. Okay, so that way all the stuff I create is going to be in roughly the same place, which makes things a little bit easier. Now I can click save all. Okay, so save selected. I do apologise, I've got a slightly itchy back. There we go. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to edit my first person character. So I'm just going to double click on it. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to strip out its ability to jump and use a gun. So here's its projectiles, just here. Now it's gone. Now for the jump. I don't want jump, but I might want it eventually. I don't know. No, I don't want jump. Goodbye. There, jump's gone as well. Now in my event graph up at the top here, I'm going to remove these as set hidden in games. Okay, I'm going to go to my construction script. I'm going to remove this because this is all about the gun and all about how the gun's connected to stuff. Okay, next I'm going to go here to my viewport, and in my viewport I'm going to get the mesh that makes up my arms and my gun and delete them. And that's it. Compile, save. So now if I come back over here and just click save and click play, we can see that I'm now able to walk around and not jump, and I don't have a stupid gun that shoots tennis balls, which is brilliant. That's what I want. Okay, I haven't got any feet either, but we'll work with that. Now that I've got my base kind of character stuff done, I want to tweak it. So I want to be able to adjust the speed at which I walk, because that's really kind of important to me. So I'm going to go back into my first person character, and inside of my first person character, if I come over here to on the left where my components are, we can see character movement inherited. Okay, now this contains all of our stuff, like how high we can step, you know, what our walk speed is and stuff like that. I'm going to change my basic walk speed down to 400, and then in my event graph I'm going to come down where there's a little bit of space just here, and I'm going to right click. Now I want to make an event, so I'm going to type in left shift, and I'll get my keyboard event left shift. There we are. Okay, now if I get my character movement inherited and just drag it here, so I've got a reference to it, and I'm going to drag it out and type in set max walk speed, and there's the set maximum walk speed. And I want two of these, one for when the left shift is pressed and one is for when it's released. So set max walk speed. Now I can set both of these if I want to here, just as hard amounts, but what I prefer to do is set things over here as, you know, character setups. So I'll go in here and press plus on my variable, and I'm going to call my first one, let me see, character max speed, and I'll create another one, so plus variable, and I'll call this one character normal speed. Okay, so we've got a normal speed and a running speed. Now both of these are currently booleans, okay, that's why they're that colour. So what I want to do is open these little eyes so I can see them properly. Then I'm going to come over here and change them from being a boolean to a float for both. There we are. Oops, that's a name, not a float. There we are. Now, I'm going to select character max speed. I'm going to put that in a group and call it character controls or character settings. There we are. Character settings is better. And I'll drag the other one to there. Okay, so it's also in the character settings heading. So we have max speed and normal speed. Now, I'm going to set some ranges for this. So my slider range will be between 300 and 500, so we can kind of tweak that a little bit. There we are. And for my normal speed, slider range will be between, let's say, 700 and 1000. So we can make it go quite fast if we want to. Okay, now I need to compile so that I can access the actual default values of these. So my maximum speed now, well, I'll set that to, I've set that too low actually, max speed. This should be 700 to 1000. I've got them back to front, you see. This happens. But it's no real reason for me to, start panicking. 700. Well, I can panic, but it won't do me any good, will it? I'll just look stupid. And 700 to 1000. And sorry if this is kind of something that's really visual, but I mean not really visual. I'm not making tons of like exciting robots and things. This is like a really important part of Unreal Engine though, working with the blueprints. Okay, so 700 to 1000 for the maximum speed, and normal speed is 300 to 400. No, 300 to 500, sorry. Okay, so now I can drag these in. Normal speed goes up here, get character normal speed. Character max speed goes here, get character max speed, and I'm just going to put that in there and put that in there. Okay. Now, let's just tidy this up a bit. So I'm going to make my pressed node go into here, my unpressed node go into here, and just set these up. Move my character movement to there, my character max speed to there. I like nice tidy nodes, as you can probably tell. And now I can move this perhaps to here. There we are. So that's nice and tidy. So now I'll put this in a comment box. So I'm going to hit C and type in place character, set character run or walk with space, because that's what I'm doing. Now I can grab this and put this somewhere tidy. Okay, the next thing I want to do is I want to set up the ability to interact with things and the ability to look at things. So for that I'm going to need to use the first person camera, because that represents the head for this character. Now we're going to press E to interact with things because that's the most common, so I'm going to right click and press E key, and I'll go up here to my keyboard utilities and just find the letter E. Here it is, boink. So when E is pressed, I will do something. What will I do? Well, I'm going to, if I drag this out, do a line trace by channel. There we are. And for my line trace by channel, I need where I'm looking from. So I'll get, well, location for my first person camera and put that into my start value. Right, I'm going to need a little bit more space over here, so I'm just dragging these out. Do like nice tidy nodes, as I've said, I believe. There we go. Now I need an end point for our first person camera, so I'm going to get its forward vector, and again I do know that I'm zooming through this, but I kind of have to. Now I'm going to get my forward vector and I'm going to multiply it by a set distance for interaction. So under character settings here I want to add a new variable, and I'm going to call our new variable, which is automatically a float because the last one was character, oops, don't like caps, character interaction distance. There we go. And for this, I'll make the slider range on this, well, we can have a minimum range of 200, maximum range I'd say of 600. Just for common sense's sake. And I'm going to stick in the category for character settings. Okay, so that goes in there. I'm going to compile it save it, and then set a default character interaction value of 400. Okay, I want this publicly viewable and editable. Good day to you. I hope you're doing well, Ascania. How are you? Sorry if it takes me a moment, by the way. I've got to kind of go look over here at the left-hand side to see what's going down. Right. Now, I'm going to get my character interaction distance and pop that here. So get character interaction distance. Now, I'm going to multiply my character interaction distance by this forward vector. So I'll just hit multiply, and I'm going to do a vector times a float, because one's a float and one is not. Now, I still need a bit more space, so I'm going to pull these back. There we are. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to add the value of this to the other one. So click plus, and I'm going to have a vector plus a vector. What's your vector, Victor? And I'm going to output this into the end. Then I'm going to change my drawbug type to for duration. Click compile and click save. Now I can go and test it. Play yep, it's working. So I'm shooting off my line trace and I'm getting my identifiable target hit at the end. Great. Let's go back into this. Now I need to do a couple of things with my line trace by channel. So first I need to break my output hit result. Open that up. There we are. And then I need to output this into an event. Now I don't have the interface yet for that, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click, go to blueprints and make a blueprint interface, which I'm going to call BP character interface, because that's what it is. It's an interface for my character. Inside my BP character interface, I'm going to call this new function. Come over to its name, hit F2. I'm going to call this func car interact. Okay, so we know it's the function character interact. Now then, I can compile and save. And what I can also do is I can request an information on my callback if I want. So if I go to my outputs just here, you'll see I've got a return node. In my return node I can put some information, so maybe I want to take a value for that. So let's say boolean. So I'll give it a name like WS store, okay, because it's storing some information. And in this one, actually I'll call it text, okay, so we can have some text going here. And this is our return node, so I can hit compile and hit save. There we are. Okay, now, yeah, that looks fine. What I'm going to do is close that down and go back to my first person character here, and then for its line trace by channel I'm going to output this, and I'll type in func underscore, and there it is, func chat interact. Okay, so we can see now that func character interact has this WS store value text, and it will output that value for me when we come in. So I can do a hit actor. Now, do I want that value? Let's see, compile and save. I want to have a quick look at my BP character interface. Now I can delete this node on my return here, and I can have it go out on my input instead. So new parameter, and for my new parameter I can put output underscore val, and this is going to be a vector. Dismiss that. So dismiss that. There we go. So compile and save. So now func car interact has an output value vector. Let's see how that looks. There we are. So there's output val there. So now I need to do something with output val. So if I put something into this, I can then output it on the other side. You see. So let's see. If I go back over here, BP character interface, return node, and new parameter. Let's put. I'll change output val to input val, and I'll change the output val to output val. It's not letting me type that name, is it? There, out val. I can only assume that an output value already existed, so I'll make that a float as well. And I'll make this a float. There we are, because I want them both to be floats. Okay, compile and save. Now I'm going to bring this down. We can call this in the editor if we want as well, so do that. And yeah, that should do for the minute, so compile and save. Right, now if I come back to my first person character and compile and save, you can see I've got my input value and my output value here. Okay, so I can output a value from func character interact, and I can input a value to func character interact. So if I double click on it, okay, there isn't actually anything happening between these, unfortunately, at the moment. Although I can call them both in my editor. Hooray. Input node, output node, input node, output node. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to compile and save, and I want to come over here and I'm going to make a quick interactive blueprint. So I want to go to right click and I'm going to make blueprint class actor. What the hell's going on here? Here we go, actor. And I'm going to call this BP box, because that's what it's going to be. And under add component, I'm going to get a cube, change it Z to 50, so it's actually resting on the world 0, 0, and save it. Okay, next. I'll come over to my event graph, class settings, and I'm going to add my BP underscore character interface. Compile and save. And that means that I can now, if I delete all those 3 events, do a right click, func car interact. There it is here. Right click, func. Did I add that correctly? Compile, save. So it's just calling it as a interface call, or is that? I see, compile and save. So let's go back to our BP character interface here. Here's our return node, and I'm going to delete these. Delete, just to get rid of our 2 inputs. Compile and save. Because I'm curious as to what this does to our first person character and our BP box. Compile and save. Right click, so this will be func. Yeah, so if it's got those 2 inputs, or 1 input and output, it won't let me do an event function character interact. Okay, let's do a quick print string, and my print string is in print hello. Compile, save. Error, compiler BP failed, 1 fatal issue. Func car interact already exists in BP box. Another one cannot be generated. What do you mean func car interact already exists? No, it doesn't. There's a construction script, but that's it. Compile, save. Okay, I think the best thing to do is just make a new BP box. So blueprint class, and I'll call this BP sphere. Okay, Control S. Now, the BP sphere, if I just double click on that, add component, I'm going to make it sphere, and as before, I'm going to change its Z height to 50. Compile and save. Right. In my event graph, get rid of all of these again, and I'm going to go to class settings and add my BP character interface. Compile and save. Now I can right click and I should be able to do func underscore, here we are, event func car interact, compile, save. Yep, so that's okay now, and I'm going to do a print. So it's printing string, and it's going to go hello. Now I'm going to have a value in this, so under my variables plus value, and I'm going to call this WS text store. Okay, so this is just a working store area. I'm going to call this text. Compile and save, and the text value in this will be, let's see, just, I don't know, this is no, I'm going to call it the sphere blueprint. Okay, just so I know what it is. So we now have this WS text store, the sphere blueprint. Right, so now I want to be able to pass the information that we pressed the sphere blueprint back. So we've now reached a kind of impasse, as they say. So I'm going to go into my first person character, I'm going to comment up this section, so I've got it all selected. I'm going to hit C, and I'm going to call this, let me see, character interaction. So F2, character interaction by line trace, compile and save. Okay, so we have some useful stuff here. We've made our character interactive, and if I click play, once I've dragged my sphere into the scene, I can now walk over to it, admittedly much quicker if I press shift, although I haven't set the base value for shift. Press E and it says hello, so I am interacting with that. So I'm going to change my, let me see, character settings, maximum speed, 300, no, 800. Character normal speed is 400. Okay, now let's go back in here and make sure these are set up properly, because I don't believe they are for a second. Normal speed goes in there, maximum walk speed goes in there, compile, save, yeah, that's fine. Okay, let's click play. Okay, they're back to front. Ha, should have realised. Always happens, so let's put that there and that there. And I'll just move these again because I like them tidy. Right, so now I can move around, hold shift to go fast, take fingers off shift to stop going fast, and click on the sphere. So we have some interaction. Woohoo! That's good. Now, what do we need to do next? Well, let's see about sending some information back to our first person character along this pipeline that we've established. So if I go into BP character interface, BP character interface func is read only, so func can't interact. Okay, depreciated, no. Constant, force this to be a const function, no. Okay, so let's add a new function, and this will be called func car value ret. Okay, because I want to see if we can return a value to our initial blueprint. So compile and save. Now, the way I see it, we need to ask for an input value for this, so it will do something. And this is read only as well. So let me see. Can't double click on it. Okay, so add parameter. I'm going to call this input text and change this to a text string. Compile and save. Now, the output on this will also be this text, so I'm going to call it output text. Okay, so now we have input text and output text going into our return node. Compile and save. Now, do I need input text or do I just need output text? I think I probably just need output text, don't I? Let's have a look. Compile, save. So, if I go back into my BP sphere, right click and type in func underscore, right, so event func character interact, func car return value, and we have func character interact, which is our interface call, and func car return value, which is an interface call. So let's have a look at these. Func car value ret target. Now then. Let's have a look at the other one. Func car value ret. Here we are. So target is BP sphere or target is BP character interface. Interesting. Well, it's more likely I'd want character interface really, isn't it? So let's see. I could send this here. Func car character ret. Can I send a message to func car? I don't think I can. Let's have a look. Func car character interact message call. Target is BP character interface. Target Yeah, BP character interface. So I'm interacting with this, setting a return value, input text, or something. Compile and save. Hit play, and at the minute, if I rush over and just click on this, infinite loop. So that's giving us an infinite loop, right? So it's sending the data back to us and then forward and so on and so on. Let's try it without that. Compile, save. Play. Okay, it's still sending. Right, so because I've got this set up, also good day Dale as well. Because I've got this set up, I think this is a good point for me to do a little bit of research. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn on my howdy doody screen, which is for saying howdy doody to people. Yeah. And this will give me a chance to just open a window and do a little bit of study on something. So I'm just going to right click down here. And I have my good friend Google Chrome here with a lovely picture of a fish on it, because why not? Okay, so let me have a look and see if I can return a value. Wow, there's some very, very old documentation. 2015. It's grim. This one's the C++ documentation. Let's see. No. Let's see what this says. And you get to see me read a manual, you lucky swines. Okay. Since an interface function has no implementation, all you can do is designate a series of typed inputs and outputs to edit a function's signature. In the details panel, scroll to the inputs category. Right, so we make a signature for our interface. I see. Right, so let's get rid of these. So I'm going to get rid of func value ret and just call this func test. Okay, now in my details, I can do blah blah blah, click new parameter, yeah. Set the input name. So test parameter. And let's see, this is going to be a text. Right, so in the same manner, outputs can also be added. Note how it automatically updates. On any input or out parameter, click the X button to remove. Input parameter is going to be given a default value. Okay, so default value. Let's do a quick compile and save. Where is my default value? Oh, I see. Hang on. Plop this. Pass this parameter by reference. Oh, interesting. So default value, title. Okay, so we've got that. So if I hit compile and save and come out, and ooh, this blueprint is bad. That's okay. It's just because this doesn't exist anymore. There we are. Right, compile and save. Now, right click, func. And that is their func test. We have events, event func test as well. And there's my test parameter. Okay, so I have my text coming out of that. So if I compile, save, and go to my first person character. So I'm doing my interaction, and that'll come down one pathway, but also I could do func. Here we are, func car interact. That's the only messaging interface I've got. So I can't seem to send anything to it. Now why can I not send information to it unless I need to add my interface to this as well? Right, so now let's see. So func car. That's not called func car, is it? It's called test. So there's the interfaces. Func test interface call and func car interface call. Let's try func test. Func test. Target. Not compatible. Stop that, you. So target is BP character interface. Target is BP character interface. Now target. Let's just delete this a minute. So I'll click. For this one it's expecting an object reference. For this one it just expects the BP character interface reference. Interesting. Test parameter is title. Compile, save. See, it doesn't like that. Must have a valid target or reference to self and func test. So it needs to know the target I'm sending it to. If I promote this to a variable, it is BP character. Have a look down here at this, new var 1. It's literally expecting this value. Okay, I'll hit delete and get rid of it. New var 1, delete. I can go back to the main full screen actually. There we go. Interact. Oops, daisy. Pull that back up. Func test. Get rid of that. Compile and save. Hasn't got a hit actor, so let's put the hit actor in. Now, what information do I get off this? Chase end. Chase start. Impact normal. Normal, impact point, location, distance, time. That's the name of the actor. I can also promote to a variable if I want to. It's still not what I need. So I'll get rid of both of those. This is called research, you see. Research. Gooey research. Right, create a network of nodes connected to the event's executable pin to give it functionality. Yeah, I've done that. The functions of the interface are executed through the use of interface message nodes. These look and act like regular function calls. So this. So compile, save, close. Save. BP character interface. Read only. You making a cuppa, dude? Right. Yep. I'm just doing some research on blueprints in Unreal Engine. Oh, I see. Okay, so compile, save, stop. Go to BP sphere. Func test. Double click on my interface here. That takes me back over to here. Func test. So I can call a function on func test. Target is the BP character interface. So which I believe is called BP character interface. Test parameter. Interesting. Words. Compile, save. Play. Right, I'm not getting an infinite loop yet, so that's good. BP sphere. Event func test. Func. Okay, so let's get rid of the hello. And right now we have this event character interact. Now I can call this function. Also do a character interface call. Interesting. Now you get to watch me stare at things. I think I'm going to come back to this. I want to do some more research on it. So I'm going to stop streaming for the minute. And I will talk to you chappies and chappiesses later, okay? Because I definitely need to research something on this. Something's not working the way I want it to.